What's up, people? World famous jingle. You already know what that sound means. JV Wins and Dogon SS. We are here for the latest edition of the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shouts out to everybody who has been hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, following along with us on this journey as we continue to produce logical content here in our little corner of the internet. Whether you like or dislike some of the views represented within the confines of this channel, we nevertheless will always appreciate the engagement, provided that it is constructive engagement, of course. So we thank everybody out there who has been subscribing to the channel. This is how we rock. This is how we roll. And to anyone who is checking out our content for the first time, thank you in advance if you are so inclined to subscribe to the channel, to hit the like button on any of the commentary or any of the content, and leave any of the comments that you would like to leave. Letting us know what you think about any of the things that we like to say, or just voicing your general opinion or take on any of the topics that are presented here on this channel. Before we get things started, as always, I do want to remind everybody that you can now check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. Just trying to be available anywhere and everywhere, so that if you're not in position to check us out on YouTube, you can slide the headphones on and listen to us audio style. So if you're driving in the car, you're working out in the gym, you're running errands, and you're doing your thing, and you're otherwise not able to watch videos on YouTube, check us out on those outlets, man. We are there. We are live and in effect. And we also appreciate the engagement over in those areas as well. So, with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and dispense with the pleasantries and get right into it. JV Wins, Dogon SS. We are going to kick things off this evening with comments made by hip hop personality named Young Miami. Not only is she, are the city girls still a thing? Aren't some of them fighting with each other or something?
I assume they're still a thing, but I think they're more disjointed than anything. I don't think they're like, I'm not anticipating a City Girls album anytime.
Right. Yeah, I know that. I think that there was some little argument going on back and forth. I don't really keep up with it to that degree.
Mm-hmm.
But Young Miami is a member of the City Girls. She's probably doing her thing more nowadays, less for music and more for having like her own TV show, that little Carisha Please show that she has,
Mm-hmm.
where she gets other people in the hip hop space and celebrity space to spill some tea. And she made interesting waves lately because she was a guest on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay show, and she talked about relationship stuff. And one of the things that she said that caught people by surprise, or not, depending on your perspective, is when she says that, cheating is not a deal breaker for her. If she's with somebody and this person and a man cheats on her, it isn't an automatic "I'm out of here" type of situation. She basically said it's nuanced. It depends on the circumstances. But essentially, if you're a cheater, she basically said you get 4 times to do it before she considers leaving.
that's the golden number, huh?
Yeah. So she gave a specific number saying, a guy can cheat 4 times before I consider leaving. Because cheating, is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, depending on the circumstances. And it's got a lot of people going back and forth. A lot of people on the internet came for her in this way, because a lot of people were like, what do you mean you can give a guy 4 times to cheat? And so she doubled down on it. She clarified what she meant by this comment. So we'll go ahead and contextualize it a little bit real quick before we provide our takes on it. So this says Young Miami responds to social media's outcry about her opinion to take man back after cheating multiple times. Young Miami isn't quick to walk away from a relationship over infidelity. During her interview on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp, she made it clear that cheating alone isn't a deal breaker for her. The internet, unsurprisingly, erupted over the revelation. The City Girls rapper defended her stance, explaining that she believes all men cheat and that women do too. I'll give him a second chance. Everybody cheats. Women cheat too. We just don't get caught. She argued that women are better at concealing their affairs and admitted she's not the type to leave after a single betrayal. I'm not leaving my man for cheating once. I'm probably gonna give him like 4 times, she added. Sharp, visibly shocked, responded with an exaggerated damn before joking about getting her number, of course.
Yeah.
Young Miami doubled down on her views in a follow up video. She pushed back against criticism, pointing out that most people have dealt with infidelity. So instead of reading these quotes, I'm just going to go ahead and play this video. So this pretty much sets the stage for what we're going to be talking about here as she defends herself against those who are criticizing the fact that she said she'd give a guy 4 times to cheat before she thought about leaving the situation. Oh, and warning beforehand for suggestive language for anybody who is cringy when it comes to certain words. Just want to throw that out there because she is she is a bit of a potty mouth. Okay, so here we go.
The interview, I said I get like my nigga got like 4 times to cheat on me before I leave, and like the internet love to be, oh my god, she's so motherfucking dumb. In reality, we all done got cheated on the stage. Everybody like if you really in love with your nigga, you locked in, y'all been together. It's not easy to walk away. You got some women that's going to get the fuck on. Yeah. Some women that's going to. I think the first time they man cheat, they're out. It's not easy to walk away. Like after you done built something with somebody, y'all done been together for so long. It hurts. Of course, you want to leave, but you're not just want to leave. Like y'all love to get on the internet. Oh, bitch, you so motherfucking dumb. You said 4 times. Yes, bitch. I know plenty of bitches in a relationship they get cheated on right now or been cheating on, and they know they nigga cheating. Some women just not leaving a man. My first time is like, you hurting me. I can't believe you would do this to me. Okay, cool. We probably gonna get back together, but our relationship will never be the same. Mm-hmm, right. It's never gonna be the same. Second time it's like oh, okay, so you a cheater. Third time I'm already cheating back. Fourth time out the door, you got to go, bitch.
What?
So that's her formula. That's her formula. That's her Pythagorean theorem.
I see.
Yeah. First time, it'll never be the same. Second time, oh, you're a cheater too. Third time, oh, I'm cheating with you, and then fourth time, then I'm out. Then I'm gone. Beyond the cheating debate, Young Miami sparked more conversation this week when she posted a video of her daughter's father, producer Southside, showering her with Chanel gifts. The clip, part of her promo for the viral sound "Take Me to Chanel," left fans speculating about their relationship. The timeline of the video remains unclear, but Southside's rumored girlfriend, Oh So You Jade, not sure who that is, didn't seem thrilled. Southside and Miami were together on New Year's Eve as speculation swirls about Young Miami's past and present relationships. One thing is certain, she's unbothered by public opinion. So what do you make of her equation there, her deductive reasoning? The 4 strikes and you're out, as opposed to, the more conservative approach, which is that it's an automatic deal breaker.
I mean, that's her. That's her world. It makes sense to her. I force her magic number, so that's what she's willing to do. I think everybody has their own magic number. Some people only need the one. Some people like her need 4. Now, why the 4th? I don't know why that's her golden number, but it is. But I would also caveat this conversation, especially coming from Young Miami, is that we're dealing with the celebrity world where all rules for the average civilian, pretty much goes out of the window. And then on top of that, she dated the diddler. So she openly admitted to golden showers for pay.
She retract, for what it's worth, she retracted that.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, there are pending litigations. So, she doesn't want to be associated with that, which I understand. But hey, when that post came out, she said it with pride. I'll tell you that much. So, we got to see who we're dealing with here, for what that's worth. But, I pretty much echo this level of conversation, whenever we talk about the Neo situation, or like when we talked about the Omarion situation when he was sitting out there talking about some, men got to spread their seeds and all that. And by the way, guys, do yourselves a solid, man, and go watch some of that content because we be dropping flyer flames on those things. But yeah, man. So I really think that when it comes to this current dating market, or honestly, if you look historically, I'll get a little historical too. But when you look at the current dating market, there's so much stimuli out there in the world. There's so many influences that people have on both sides of the spectrum, both men and women. They're both getting their fair share of temptations, and a lot of people in the dating pool are exploring their options. And I'm pretty sure that there's some pretty good relationships that are going on initially before one or both parties start to explore options. Then once one person gets outed, somebody's phone gets searched, somebody got pulled up on, private investigator, you name it, you know, situations go down. And then now those relationships that were pretty solid, outside of the infidelity part, those people break up. And so I really think that some people need to be honest and understanding about where they're at, like I always say, and be a little bit honest and forthcoming before everything, goes down. And then, maybe some of these relationships would be salvaged. I don't, once people start talking about, open relationships and all, I ain't going to be open. It's like, well, you're already doing it. So, it don't sound good. It sound nasty, but you live nasty and you're just not willing to admit it. So, you a lot of people live openly, especially if you're dating. Like, let's say if you're dating, you meet this person, you take them out on a date, you like how they go, you like how they move, you like how they talk, or whatever. You take out on 3 dates. You've been talking for 3-4 weeks. She let you smash. You think you're the only guy? You're not. You just came about. There's somebody else around or more. And so because you guys are in a talking phase and all this and that, all these little things to make people feel better about themselves. But yeah, you're in an open relationship at that point. So, but oh no, man, once we become committed to one another, they have to drop their people and all this. And listen, man, there's some people that are just doing situationships and they don't want to admit that. Knowing damn well that person, when you just ghost them for 2 or 3 weeks, that they doing their own thing while you're doing your own thing, while you're ghosting them for 2 to 3 weeks. Like, there's so much of that going on right now. So I really think that people need to be honest and open with that, and still have yourself a solid relationship somehow, some way. Don't ask me. I'm no guru or coach, but I do think that instead of everybody just throwing a baby out with the bathwater, there needs to be a situation where people are actually, trying to build something out of that. And I do think it'll be less homes broken up, less domestic situations, a whole bunch of other things, if people were just being more mature and honest about the fact that they, want to explore options. So that's not everybody in the dating pool, but it's a large portion of it, I would say. And so I got a little something to say about the old school, how things went back then. But I'll let you get a little spill on this, man. What are your thoughts about Young Miami out here saying that, hey, man, she'll let somebody cheat up to 4 times? What are your thoughts, boss?
Yeah, far be it from me to agree with anything that this chick has to say, but this to me is sensible. And you're right. You're right when you say the dating rules for celebrity world doesn't necessarily apply to the dating rules of the civilian world. However, we also must take into account the fact that a lot of civilians fancy themselves dating in a very celebrity like fashion.
That's true, sir. Very
So
true.
yes, so nowadays a lot of civilians, men and women, this is everybody. I'm not trying to go at either sex here, but everybody who is a civilian tends to these days fancy themselves dating in a very celebrity like fashion. I think a lot of people approach dating and this is, I don't agree with this. I'm just stating that this is kind of the way things are for a large amount of people who classify themselves as single and dating. They tend to approach it from a comparisons perspective. They look at their own dating lives through the lens of other individuals' dating lives, from afar or up close, depending on if you know individuals in person. They compare what they see online as well as what they see on TV and on their various devices to what they would like to experience. And then they adjust their dating lives accordingly. I think this causes people to date in a very unrealistic way. I think for women, they view their personal dating lives through the lens of a arms race for resources and attainment of a particular kind of lifestyle. And I think for guys, it's much more simple. It's just what the chick looks like. If you spend enough time getting overexposed, overstimulated via what you're seeing in your feeds or what you're hearing in your music or what you're seeing on music videos, if you're still the type of person that watches music videos, um, you're so overstimulated by the visual images of women that you see via the various forms of media that you consume, that now that shapes the way that you acclimate your own personal dating life. So it isn't good enough to just find good women to date where you can. You now need to find good women to date who look like what you constantly see in your feeds all the time. So I think that the respective ways that each of us, through the prisms of our respective realities, approach dating creates an environment in which we myopically, go about incorporating dating into our daily lives. And I think once we all start doing that, we kind of default to being daters in a very celebrity, famous person, influencer like fashion.
Mm.
So even though the rules of celebrity world don't apply to the rules of civilian world, because everybody who's a civilian is low key or high key trying to quasi date in a celebrity like way, we're all kind of doing the same thing. And since we're all doing the same thing, there should be an anticipation that you are going to amend how you feel about certain things that you used to believe, that you used to think were black and white, such as infidelity. Because when you're dabbling in that world and you're maintaining all of these options, as you put it, and you're dating on the internet as well as in person, and you're dating via DMs as well as on the phone, and you're dating via your social media networks and your OnlyFans pages, as well as via phone conversations and text messages. Like when you're mixing all of that up, you have to realize that you're consorting with other humans who conduct their dating lives the same way that you do. So if you have options, then those individuals have options too. And you have to put yourself in a reasonable position. If you are unwilling, even if you're dating somebody who is cool and exhibiting good qualities, if even with that going on, you're unwilling to relinquish your options because you just need to have that in your back pocket just in case, or you just want to have it around because you want to maintain the option because that's the energy that you want to live in, you should also understand that that person whom you met via those very same means is probably going to do the same thing. And at that point, does it really make a ton of sense for you to maintain the position that cheating is a deal breaker on the first offense? Probably not. Now, if you want to maintain that position, you should probably reorient your dating preferences so that you're dating in a more realistic, holistic way. But as we know nowadays, most humans don't. Most humans in the current meta world don't date in the traditional wholesome sense. They date in the advanced technological, you know, what's that word I'm looking for? The advanced technological, polygamous, polyamorous way. Where it's all about an arms race for either visual stimulation, physical stimulation, or resources and lifestyle stimulation, respectively speaking, on both men and women. So when you're doing it in a superficial manner like that, you should maintain the same position that she did, which is it shouldn't be a deal breaker. Now, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong or fair or unfair. I am just saying that that is the reality when you are conducting yourselves relationally in this manner. And I do believe nowadays, except for people who are raised conservatively and taught to prioritize things like family and loyalty and honesty, which people still do that, but by and large, it's all about liberal freedom and everybody doing whatever they want. So, because it's all about liberal freedom and everybody doing what they want, I think that this is a sensible way to look at it. You know, now if you establish ground rules with a person and set expectations, I won't do this, therefore my expectation is that you don't do this, and they violate those expectations, then I don't think it's unreasonable at that point for you to say, okay, well, it's a fireable offense on the first time because we established ground rules and you violated on those ground rules. But going at it all willy nilly, where you are dating this person semi seriously, situationships as you phrased it, but you still got your options and you know you're doing this. People know they're doing this. So you're approaching it willy nilly like this, all laissez faire, and you got your options. You don't think that other person probably has their options too?
Right.
So it is what it is. Is she the greatest example for what functional relationships look like? Absolutely not. But if we're juxtaposing it to modern day dating and how things typically play out with the way people live their lives currently, as weird, crazy, odd as it sounds, uh, something such as cheating for everybody who's living like this really should be reevaluated because no one is even dating in a traditional sense.
No,
So,
they're not.
so what reason do you have to look at cheating in the traditional sense?
Agreed. I mean, at 1,000, bro. So, again, we're dealing with, Dubai porta potty, uh, golden shower, young Miami, man. So, again, she's not the gold standard of, how people should look at relationships. But yeah, I do think people need to reevaluate. And that's a key point that you made there that, yeah, the way that people are doing relationships right now are far from standard. We're not courting anymore. We're not doing things how we were raised to do them things. So why should cheating also be looked at in the same vein? So yeah, I agree with that, man. Right now we're dealing with the age of bad pH. We're dealing with the age of bad pH. You know what I'm saying? It's not as much fresh box out there as it used to be. That's because everybody's sharing. And these people can sit here and lie all they want, but one of the women that are going to be sitting here, hollering from the rooftop that, oh, y'all crazy, cheating, your pH off. Don't sit here and tell me what to think when you're out here living the same way. And so people just need to be honest about that. And when I was saying before, about the old school way of things, and back in the day, man, grandma and grandpa, we don't know what was going on in their bedroom. We don't know what was going on. Sally Mae at the church was giving it up to grandpa, and grandma knew about it. And there was probably some drama going on back then, but they stayed together. But from them staying together, they got, let's say 13 more grandkids out of the mix. Now there's a whole legacy and a whole room full of people at a family reunion, all because grandma didn't give up on grandpa. And now it's a strong knit situation. It's a family. And when people are just quitting, first quarter like this, and that was my point earlier, is when you quit first quarter like that, you're probably abandoning, 13 grandkids down the line, solid situation down the line, and some people, you don't want to call cheating a mistake because people know what the hell they're doing, even if there's alcohol involved or perk 30s, whatever your vice is, you know what the hell you're doing. So, for situations like that, so I don't want to say that it's an accident, but it may have been an accident in the sense of, hey man, I was gambling with the wrong person. I actually care about this person. This isn't a regular situationship thing. I actually like this person. And I was doing my regular knee jerk mechanical actions as a person. But now that I see that I actually care about this person, I'm not going to live like that no more. But that may have to come through somebody, a revelation of somebody, cheating and get caught. So yeah, you never know who you're dealing with in these situations. You might be throwing away the right person. And today's day and age, when everybody is operating on defense mechanisms, oh, you got me messed up, you got me messed up. Oh yeah, you playing like that, I'm gonna play it like this, and everybody is out here puffer fishing it out, porcupining it out and sticking the next person before they get stick. And so when you live in this tit for tat lifestyle and this is treacherous waters of the current dating market, of course people out here getting hurt and then jumping ship prematurely, I would say. So yeah, everybody got their own situation. There's no one size fits all. All right. Evaluate your situation as it comes. It's a case by case basis. So no, I'm not sitting here agreeing with Young Miami, but at the same time, I understand where she's coming from.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's conversations like this that further reinforce my belief that the only reason why things like polyamorous relationships are on the rise is because I've said this before, things like polyamory, it gives people an official designation to do what they've already been doing. As you said, bro, like people have been doing this, but now in order to morally recuse yourself from the guilt associated with labeling things as such as cheating, we can now just say we're polyamorous. Therefore, we're maintaining options and no one has to have their feelings hurt because I chose to exercise my options in this respect. I think the conversation, like polyamory, people who legitimately live polyamorous, respect and kudos to those people who are doing it by the book. This isn't a shot at those people, but I think polyamorous relationships and the like have been hijacked by the masses who just want to have as much sexual freedom as they want. You know what I'm saying? It's not about building nations or building communities or making sure families stay together. It's just about people being able to indulge in their carnal instincts as much as possible without feeling guilty for doing so. Because no one wants to be called a liar or a cheater or a betrayer. No one likes that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one wants to be held to a moral standard like that where they indulge in a little sexual proclivities and now they have to deal with being called all sorts of things out of their name because they let somebody down. So how can I sort of rise up? How can I sort of sidestep that? Well, let me just designate myself as polyamorous. Let whoever I'm dealing with know I'm polyamorous. Therefore, can they morally get upset with me because I really just want to get my rocks off with other people? No, because they knew I was polyamorous. And if they're being polyamorous, I can then at that point not set myself up for failure by maintaining an expectation that they don't have other options because they probably do, because that's what everyone's doing. So, that's the only reason why this stuff is on the rise now and it's becoming popularized. It's becoming a mainstream, I believe, because what people want more than anything else is to just have the moral leeway to indulge in as much sexual freedom as possible. And all of that other stuff can fall by the wayside. And so they incorporate things like polyamory because it gives them the opportunity to do it, even though really what they're doing is they are co-opting what it is that they want to get out of life with the true essence of what something like polyamorous actually means. So for the folks out there who are really living poly, salute to y'all. It isn't necessarily for me, but I appreciate it if you're doing it in accordance with the correct way that it's supposed to be executed. But you got a lot of people out here who just want to be out here letting it fly, can't keep it in the pants, as you say. And in order to be able to be morally recused from any sort of guilt associated with that, not be called a cheater, and not have to deal with getting 2 or 3 or 4 chances to cheat on somebody, we can just maintain all of our options because we can label ourselves, designate ourselves some of these various relationship, you know, qualifiers and definitions. That's
Mhm.
my belief on why this stuff is even a thing nowadays. Other than that, yeah, bro, I just think approaching this stuff with a little bit of realism is what people are supposed to be doing. We talk about honesty all the time. And you know, if you are more of the traditional type and you make it known and you try to date other people who are on that same traditional timeline and stuff goes left and you maintain certain standards when it comes to tolerating that and you want to, you know, uphold those and say I have a zero tolerance policy on that, I'm with that too. But what I'm not here for is people who want to do that, but you're out here in this crazy world doing things very untraditionally. That to me does not align and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and last thing I'll say is, man, uh, I'm just tired of the capery. I'm over it. All these people hollering that they want monogamy, and they're not living in accordance to that, and they got every excuse in the book of why they stepped out, and I don't want to hear it. The truth of the matter is, you really don't believe in monogamy, you know, and especially if these people out here talking about getting married and they want to do things under the under the Lord, have a covenant with somebody and get married, and still holler that they want a divorce later because this person's not giving me enough attention, or they don't do rose petals and candlelight dinners no more. It's bogus. So yeah, man, just be honest, man. I'm just over the capery, man. So me personally, I'll look on from the rafters, man, and just watch these people out here lie, and say that they want to keep living a particular way, a monogamous way, and just continue to watch their relationships break up because they're liars. So I think there needs to be an honest conversation, and it may not come from our generation, that's for damn sure. But maybe these youngins, man, that are watching all this stuff from afar, maybe they'll have a cleaner way of looking at these relationships. Because I'm telling you right now, everybody that's in the dating pool, as of now, they're all playing the same game and they're all lying to each other and lying to themselves. So, but yeah, man. Hey, I'll say this though. What do y'all think down in the comments section? You guys agree with Young Miami? You agree with her stance? You know, what's your magic number? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 17? Let me know, man. Let me know down in the comment section. I'd be very intrigued to hear you guys' responses.
Yeah, that's the question to ask is what is your magic number for when it's too many for when it's too many times, right? Yeah. Shots more to come on Young Miami somewhat later on in the stream,
Right,
bro.
that's right.
But yeah, what is everybody's number when it comes to this cheating stuff? This stuff is so all over the map these days, man. Who knows? But a lot of people are out here in these streets. So
Yeah.
I don't think that you can maintain not in the streets rules when you date in an in the streets fashion.
Thank
So
you.
uh,
100. Said that better myself.